Hello, Fish Duck friends, and welcome to another Fish Duck one-on-one video podcast. I'm Kurt, and this week we're talking with Max Forer. Big number 64, like many Ducks, came from Los Angeles north to Eugene, where he played center for the Oregon Ducks from 2006 through 2010, culminating in Oregon's trip to the BCS National Championship game. Max, how you doing?
How you doing there?
Doing well, man. Thank you for joining us on this.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure.
What drew you in once you saw campus and decided this is where I absolutely want to be?
You know, honestly, I'm from Los Angeles. A lot of the guys are from Los Angeles. I was looking for a college feel. I was in the city for most of my life, and to be around the people, I must say the Oregon people love the Ducks, and we know it as players, and we love it. It's something like you don't get when SC or UCLA. You're in a big city. There's many pro teams. I mean, it is a different feel. But in Eugene, Oregon, those fans love you, and you know it. And I mean, it's just a great feeling. My dad actually just recently told me the story. My grandma and my dad were at the Mashowski Center, and my grandma looks at the program. She goes, "Oh my God, it's my grandson! There he is!" And one guy says, "Your son plays for the Oregon Ducks? God bless you." And my grandma goes, "Really? Thanks." And then he goes, looks at my dad, and my dad says, "Are you the father of him?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "God bless you too." And right there, that was my freshman year, and I mean,
you spent that entire first year learning under Coach Gary Croton, trying to learn the spread system that they were implementing for 2 years. And then Croton leaves, and then comes Kelly, and it's still a spread system, but it's a totally different kind of spread system. So you'd spent an entire year trying to acclimate and get used to what Oregon was doing, and now it's almost like pushing the reset button. You're having to start all over, learn all new terminology, all new system. How difficult was that to then pick up the pace and get up to speed with everyone else?
You know, the difference is that Crow did run a spread, and so Chip runs a spread. So luckily, the shotgun snap was still there. What we were learning with Crow was still there. It wasn't such a giant change from a pro style to a spread, almost like what Michigan did. That was a revamp of the whole offense. I mean, we had a good idea what we were, but the pace completely changed. I mean, I could tell you, I couldn't imagine playing at this pace that these guys do right now, that first time Chip came. And I mean, luckily for us, Chip saw the speed at the beginning, but it was like a slow increase. I mean, it was jumping. We were going high, but at least there was some, like, each year it got faster. So I at least had a couple years to figure it out. Luckily for my size, I was one of the smaller guys, so I was able to hang. A guy like Josh Shergy, Shergy and Schwartzy are bigger guys. It took them a little bit, but you know, it got to it. And I mean, for me, it was a lot easier for some of the bigger guys to do it, in my opinion. So,
well, were there guys that kind of took you aside and kind of helped you out along the way? Particularly being a center, you have to know everything. I mean, you're the one making the calls up front, so.
You know, there were some specific guys that I can think about. John Teague, he was a former walk-on Earth Scholarship. He was instrumental to, I say, the blueprint of the walk-on success on how to do it, how to work hard and be at the right place at the right time, and just be there. Jeff Kendall played center. He was backing up Max Unger. He was great as well. He was extremely helpful. I at one point in my career had bad snaps. It's just how it is. I had bad snaps. And Jeff also had bad snaps. He had like 2 wrist surgeries and was in some pain. But he molded me and helped me quite a bit. And so did Unger. And me and Jordan worked with each other quite a bit. And Jeff Schwartz, the Schwazzle. As I'm a Jewish football player, he's a Jewish football player. And we had a bond that he was from Palisades in LA. And we're still friends today. And it's, those 3 guys particularly did help me.
What is going into the process for you as a center, pre-snap and during a play?
You know, it's the reason why we practice so fast. Everything becomes instinctual. At some point, you do the reps over and over again. You understand when you see a formation, when you see the safeties flip, when you see, you know, a cornerback hugging the line, when you have your tackle letting you know, when you have your guard alerting that the linebacker might be coming, and you have help from all sides of the offensive line, as well as the quarterback seeing as well. It becomes a lot easier with your teammates helping. As a center, you get the play, you make the call, and then you're just looking. You're looking as quickly as possible because you got your head right underneath to see that quarterback to get that snap count and go. I mean, there's no rush. You gotta just no messing around. I like to think it over when I was at the line and decide like, oh, they might be blitzing, and I'd get yelled at quite a bit. But you just gotta go. And I want to mention that Hronis as a freshman, a sensational job. I mean, it is so difficult to play the center position. And for him to start like a center and just do as well as he did last year on his polls, when you guys watch that, fantastic. And all the props to him. But it does go a lot. You have to be on your game for sure. But
as fans, we see this a lot from Chip.
Yeah, I heard
faster.
Go. And it's mostly the center because you can't, once you put your head under it, you can't see what's really going on. So. Gotta go quick and let it all happen.
Probably my biggest memory of you being on the field was the Rose Bowl, in that Jordan got a little bit nicked up, and you have to step into the game, and everyone's going, "Oh no, Jordan's hurt." And what happens? You come into the game, and Oregon drives down the field and takes the lead. Yeah,
that was a memorable time. I remember walking on the field and seeing the overhead camera zooming in and out of me, and I go, "That's cool." And then I was looking at my boys. I was looking at Carson. I was looking at Bo. I was looking at Asper. I was looking at Clarence. And I look at the defense behind me. It was something I prepped for, something I knew was going to happen. I knew the play, and I was ready to go. And at that point, it was all instinctive. I just went with it. And I'm glad that I was able to perform the way I thought I should perform. And it was an exhilarating feeling. Trust me, playing at the Rose Bowl is a feeling that no one will ever. I will never forget. So it was also great to see my dad and my sister when I walked out the field and see how happy they were, and my mom, my uncle, and my grandma. So it was a great feeling.
Talk a little bit about Chip the coach and Chip the person, because I would have to think that if he wasn't coaching football, he could probably be a stand-up comedian and making a pretty good living at that too.
Chip doesn't try to be funny. It's just Chip. Like, he honestly just doesn't care. And so he'll say whatever he wants. Just say whatever. He'll be blunt right to your face. I think he once told me, "Max, what are you doing right now? Are you eating a sandwich?" Because I was like standing there or something like that. So he'll say anything that comes to his head. And he is a loyal guy who will be on your side through thick and thin, but also he'll be on your ass at a moment's notice if he knows that you're slacking. He looks for effort. If you give him the effort he thinks that you're supposed to give him at your tenure at Oregon, he will be your guy for the rest of your life, because he'll have the utmost respect for you. You'll be in his handful of people that he respects and trusts, because you gave him all that he asked for you to give. So as a football coach, he is a genius, an absolute genius, a revolutionary mind, and one that we should be privileged and happy to have at the University of Oregon. As a person, he's Chip. He's an East Coast guy. You just have to understand that. And if you understand that, you're okay with it, cool. But like he's a football coach. So understand that he's not a politician. He's a football coach. So
right.
That's Chip Kelly in a nutshell.
But do you have a particular favorite moment or a particular favorite play in your career? There's a lot to choose from, I know.
Favorite moment. My favorite moment in my career was when we went to Arizona and the double overtime game happened. When the crowd came on the field. There's nothing better than to beat a team at their house. But there's nothing even better than that, to beat a team in their house when they're about to storm the field on you because they think they're winning and going to the Rose Bowl. As dangerous as it was after the game, and it was dangerous.
I was there. I got hit with garbage after the game. So
Grandma was there. She's 82 years old. She's fighting people off. But and bottles were being thrown by those fans. I mean, absolutely. And Caitlin Johnson, if I recall, got hit in the head with a Jim Beam bottle. But to win that game was fantastic, because that team gives us trouble, and it was great feeling to win it in Arizona.
Well, your last game as a Duck was one that I got to attend, the BCS National Championship, and I will fondly recall the fan experience, because it was 4 straight days of nonstop parties, endless drinking, just it was a blast. And the game itself was amazing for about 59 minutes and 30 seconds ish.
Yeah.
But tell us about what the player experience was like, because a lot of people know going to the pep rally and all the various parties that we got to experience. What did you get to experience being a player that was part of that whole process?
The Tostitas Fiesta Bowl did it right. There was all class. We stayed in a wonderful resort and got to enjoy it. But to be honest, it was quite stressful. This is the game. This was for all the marbles. This is some uncharted territory for the Oregon Ducks. And we got to meet Kobe Bryant. That was great. We got to go and eat fantastic food. Even though I still love Lowry's, that's my number one eating place. But I'm an LA kid anyway, so. Right. But it was stressful. We trained. We were ready for them for like a month and a half, I guess. A month and 10. Well, the game was January 10th, so a month and a week. There's only so much you can go over, but it was building up. So I'm glad you guys had a really good time and enjoyed yourself and drinking and stuff. But none of that was going on in the Oregon compound. We were sitting there just waiting. So,
officially from a player, can we state, because the fan perspective is obvious, Michael Dyer's wrist was down, right?
Yeah, to this day, guys go, "Oh yeah, what a great game! Oh, you guys lost, right?" I'm like, I really can't relive this moment. Like,
well, years from now, as the rosters start to fade from memories, but the overall victories, the ones that really stand out, will carry on with fans forever. What do you want Duck fans to remember about Max Forer and some of the teams that you played on?
It's an honor to be on a team like the Oregon Ducks for 5 years. Sometimes you work hard and you put yourself in the right opportunity. It can happen. And I like everyone to look on my career and also the Oregon Ducks from the time I joined to the time now as maybe one of those escalating, like it's just an escalator pretty much, just continually going up, and hopefully at some point it will be consistent and it will just stay up there. And it was a pleasure and honor to be on the team with such great guys and great coaches, and something that I will take with me for the rest of my life. And I know, obviously, that whatever someone throws at me, I can do it because I've seen it with being coached by Coach Graywood and being coached by Chip Kelly and being in the Rose Bowl and being in such games as the National Championship, that there's nothing that can be thrown at me. And I believe for all the rest of my guys, the Drew Davis, the Jeff Mails of the world, the Spencer Pasingers, the Casey Matthews, and all that class should be lived on as the class that was there and started and restarted the Oregon train. Mm-hmm. So hopefully as a consistently top 5 team in the country.
So now that you've hung up the 47 jerseys that you wore during your career in your closet,
actually.
Right, somewhere around there, give or take a half dozen. Now that your playing days are done, what's next for Max Forer?
I just got accepted to the University of Oregon Law School, and that looks like what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back home for 3 years. And come back to Eugene. After my 3 years of law school, I don't know if I'm going to practice law yet. I'd like to contemplate on working in an athletic department somewhere. I love all sports, and I love football, and I love making a positive impact on young kids' life if that's possible. And plus, I feel like from my perspective, I can maybe teach some guys who are in the athletic department who don't see the views that former athletes have. I can maybe give them a better view on what athletes are thinking and what they want and how do they feel getting certain things. I feel maybe it's in a unique perspective that I can aid in an athletic program if possible. But it's going to be a wonderful ride. I'm young. At this point I'm 23, and I can't wait for my future, especially 3 years back up in the beautiful Willamette Valley,
where you won't be getting quite as much sun, so you won't be showing up sunburned.
I apologize. It's I have rosy cheeks, but not this rosy. This is
straight sunburn.
I'm almost sunburned. I was out on a barbecue. So,
well, Max, thank you so much for joining us on the Fish Duck 101 podcast, and we look forward to seeing what's next down the road for Max Forer.
Thank you very much, Kurt. You've been a gentleman and a scholar.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.